What's good? I'm back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. Basically, I take a week off from podcasting. Lost my voice for about 3 to 4 days, so I figured I'll just go ahead and stretch it out to a week. Take the week off. Started getting my voice back. Still not where I wanted to be. Got to get me some tea and honey, apparently, later today and start drinking that. Got to drink more water and more juice. I do drink a lot of soda, but that's not why my voice went out. Um, so a week being out of podcasting, a lot has gone by in the NBA. So I kind of want to get into that. Um, Basically, we're in the second round now. Lakers ended up beating the Grizzlies to advance. Nuggets, of course, they swept, or well, they sweep. The gentlemen swept the T Wolves. Suns, gentlemen swept the Clippers. Warriors went to Game 7 with the Kings, and I like the Kings' future. I'm definitely going to talk about maybe some tweaks the Kings could make going forward next year, but I like their chances next year. And of course, the Lakers beat the Grizzlies 42. He ended up beating the Bucks with a gentleman's sweep. But all due respect, Giannis missed 2.5 games with a back injury. Back injuries are like one of the worst injuries to have when you're explosive as Giannis. Knicks gentlemen sweep the Cavs. Sixers swept the Nets. And the Hawks won 4-2 lost 4-2 to the Celtics. Now, people were talking about the Hawks exposing something on the defense for the Celtics, and I think the Sixers took advantage of that last night. But before we get into the games, I want to get into the Kings and what they could do moving forward. If I was them, much as I love Harrison Barnes, former Tar Heel, I would try to upgrade that position. Maybe you can move Keegan Murray at that position and um, put somebody else at power forward. But I definitely would move off of Harrison Barnes. Even though he did win a championship with the Warriors, I'm still they need to upgrade. They need to upgrade. And they could work on a bench. Okay, right now, let me get into some of the games. I'm gonna start with this Philly and Boston one. Embiid was out game one. Might be out game two. I figured this series was already over. Like Sixers don't stand a chance. But James Harden went back in the future and went back to the old James Harden. Put up a 40-piece wing dinner. Tyrese Maxey gave you 26, 18 for Tobias Harris. Everybody I said was going to have to do something for the Sixers to win pretty much did something. I said you would need about 20 out of Tobias Harris. You got 18. That'll do. I figured you probably need 28 out of Maxi. You got 26. That'll do because James Harden gave you 45, which I figured he would have to give you at least 30 or more. And then you got 17 off the bench from DeAnthony Melton and 10 points and 13 rebounds from Paul Reed, who started in Embiid's place. And, I mean, you know why he got a double-double last night? I mean, his first name is Paul. What do you expect? You know? And he gave you a steal and a block. What more can you ask for a backup center starting in place of Embiid? But 10 points and 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and a block. James Harden, he didn't give you a bunch of assists, only 6, but I mean, he was 17 for 30 on shooting, 7 for 14 for threes. That's what really where it was at. And now Philly has the home court advantage. I want to get into this Philly Denver, but or Phoenix Denver. But let me go into the game that happened before that. It's not looking good for the Suns. First game, you had 29 from Durant, 14 rebounds. 14 from DeAndre Ayton with 7 rebounds. That ain't going to cut it. Like, you're going to need DeAndre Ayton should have had the 14 rebounds as well, as far as I'm concerned. You got 27 from Booker, 8 assists, 11 from Chris Paul, 5 assists. And Chris Paul's actually got injured last night's game, so they literally could be done. They got Cameron Payne back, but they only played him 5 minutes. They made all this big deal about how they need Cameron Payne back, but they only played him 5 minutes. Torrey Craig played 23 off the bench, but he didn't give you but 3 points. For the Nuggets, you got 23 from Aaron Gordon, 24 with 19 rebounds, and 5 assists from the Joker, Nikola Jokic, and 10 from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 34 from Jamal Murray with 9 assists and 5 rebounds, 2 steals. And Bruce Brown also gave you 14 off the bench. And that's the thing. The Nuggets got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that could put up 20 points on any given night. On any given night. All right, so let me go to the, what is it? The Miami. Let me go over the Miami and the Knicks game here. Jimmy Butler gave you 25, and of course, the Heat won 108 to 101. Butler gave you 25, 16 from Bam Adebayo, 20 from Gabe Vincent, 18 from Kyle Lowry. You know, everybody said this is going to be a low-scoring series, and they said it's going to be 90 to 80-point games, and it definitely was. RJ Barrett gave you 26, 18 from Obi Toppin, 25 from Jalen Brunson, and 10 from Josh Hart. It just wasn't enough. Nobody off the bench did anything. They only had 3 guys come off the bench. Julius Randle didn't play because he was hurt. They probably had 4 guys. The bench is not really that good. I mean, all you got is quickly. You got the one guy coming off the bench. Rest of these dudes, I wouldn't bank on at all. And that's the thing. This is in New York. So if Miami wins next game, this series is over. Literally over. All right, so let me get into last night's Phoenix-Denver game. And it's just not looking good for the Suns. Of course, Denver won. They lead 2-0. They won 97-87. Suns only scored 87 points. This was definitely a defensive game. Kevin Durant gave you 24. Ayton gave you 14. And, of course, he didn't have double figures in rebounds once again. 35 from Devin Booker, but he was a -7. And Chris Paul got hurt. He only had 8 points and 6 assists and nothing off the bench. I mean, you got 16 from Aaron Gordon. He only had 1 rebound. That's crazy because Jokic had 16 rebounds, 5 assists, 39 points, 2 steals, and 1 block. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope gave you 14 with 5 rebounds. You only got 10 points from Jamal Murray, 8 assists. It was definitely a defensive game. But Jokic, who's going – like, this is the thing. Who in the Suns are going to stop Jokic? Jamal Murray had a bad shoot night, but I wouldn't say somebody stopped him. He just had a bad shoot night. And he's not going to have a bad shoot night like that probably next night. Jeff Green coming off the bench. You got Christian Braun, Bruce Brown, Thomas Bryant, Reggie Jackson, who didn't even play, DeAndre Jordan. I like if Nuggets have to go into their bench, they got a better bench. Suns didn't even play Terrence Ross. I don't even know. I don't get it. Why are they not playing Terrence Ross? It makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. What games that we got on tonight? Let me see. Tonight we got Miami, New York. Game 1 of Lakers Warriors. Julius Randle doesn't come back tonight. I don't think the Knicks win. I have Miami winning, going up 2-0. Miami is literally probably going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals as a 8th seed. Oh, that's crazy. That's why this playing tournament is actually starting to become very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. It seems like it's been a good thing and whatnot. Let me fix this TikTok camera real quick. Let me straighten that out a little bit more because I'm live on TikTok as well as pre-recorded for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, BitChute, Twitter, and Twitch. And the audio version goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much, much more. Yeah, Miami could be in the finals as an 8th seed. Now, Lakers Warriors going to be interesting. Game 1 as at Golden State. If Lakers come out and win and take home court advantage, it's not going to look good for the Warriors. And I'm asking myself who's going to stop Steph Curry? Probably nobody. But that's the thing. You can let Steph Curry do his thing. Who's going to stop Anthony Davis? Nobody. Who's going to stop LeBron? Nobody. If Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell get going, it could be very dangerous. Rui Hachimura had 3 real good games in the playoffs so far. First series, I think he put up 220 points and an 18-pointer. He's definitely been doing his thing. They got Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench still. It's going to be up to Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins. If those cats have off nights, the Warriors probably ain't going to win. And to be honest with you, man, I got Lakers winning this series. I do. Because this is why. Yes, the Kings were a 3 seed. But the Kings had never been in the playoffs in like 20-something years. It's like half my life, damn man. They ain't been in the playoffs. They took the Warriors to 7 games. I don't think the Warriors will last 7 games with the Lakers. I don't think they'll make it if they have to go game 7 with the Lakers. I just don't. Even though it will be at the Warriors, and I don't see it going that far, to be honest with you. I don't see it going to a game 7. I see this series being 6 games, whether the Warriors or the Lakers win. I see 6 games. And I got the Lakers winning in 6. I really do. And then we got, what other games we got on tonight? Let me see. Okay, that's the only 2. Because tomorrow we got Philly and Boston again. And Boston better come out and play like their life depends on it. Because if Philly goes up 2-0 in Boston, going back to Philly, without having to play Embiid, who does, from what I heard, Embiid has a small tear. So they're going to have to try to ride it out as far as they can. And he's probably going to have to come back and play at least 2 games in this series. And there's no way that I think Philly sweeps Boston, even if Boston goes down 0-2. I don't think that happens. No way, no how. Let me get into some of the NFL draft. First, I'm going to talk about my Carolina Panthers. They picked Bryce Young. Based on what I've heard all the experts say, he was the guy. He was the guy to pick. Everybody was talking about how small he was. You know, one thing I know, even Bart Scott said it. The most athletic quarterback has never won a Super Bowl. I understand, in America, they're already trying to redefine everything. They're trying to change the definition of every single word and the meaning of everything in America already. But, you can't always reinvent the wheel. You don't get, pocket passers win Super Bowls. Guys they got to be 60% pocket passers and 40% runners at most. If you're like a 50% running quarterback, a 50% pocket passer, like Cam Newton was, you're not winning a Super Bowl. You're not winning it, man. You're just not. And we've yet to see the running quarterback win a Super Bowl. And when I mean the running quarterback, I mean the dominant running quarterback. People were like, well, Paul, Steve Young ran. He ran only when it was necessary to run. They didn't design a shit ton of running plays for Steve Young. And that's what a dominant running quarterback is. Somebody like Lamar Jackson, who they design a shit ton of running plays for. Jalen Hurts is a dominant running quarterback, but not so much as Lamar is. Because the problem with being a dominant running quarterback is when you're down 14 to 21 points in the Super Bowl, you can't come back and win. You can't just run the ball up the field because you're just running the clock down along with it. You got to get some 30, 40-yard long pass and score quick when you're down 14 to 21. And dominant running quarterbacks can't do that because they're not pocket passers. That's why Pat Mahomes is the best in the league. Pocket passer first. Joe Burrow, second best in the league. Pocket passer first. Josh Allen, third best in the league. Pocket passer first. You know what? I know Lamar got the check, but guess what? I don't think he's better than Trevor Lawrence. Pocket passer first. Who else? I don't think he's better than Jalen Hurts, who's more of a pocket passer than a running quarterback. He's not better than Aaron Rodgers. Pocket passer first. Yes, Aaron Rodgers could run, but they didn't design a lot of running plays for Aaron Rodgers through the years. He just ran when it was necessary, like Pat Mahomes. Like, people want to reinvent the wheel. Well, until you reinventing this wheel actually works, you can't reinvent the wheel. I'm sorry. The most athletic quarterback is not necessarily going to be the best quarterback. It's a project. We still got to see if it can be done. Because guess what? Hey, when the 85 Bears won with a super dominant quarterback and Walter Payton, probably the greatest rusher ever, they had a average quarterback who was a pocket passer only in Jim McMahon. Doug Williams, the first black quarterback to win, wasn't a dominant running quarterback. He was a pocket passer. That's why Bryce Young and CJ Stroud are the top 2 picks in there. They're pocket passers. You know, so yeah, Carolina. I hope we got our guy. Yeah, he's small, but Russell Wilson's small. He went to back-to-back Super Bowls, but I don't know that we got enough around him. Maybe we might do though. We might could win the division, but I got the Saints probably winning the division. Texans, I like what they did. They moved up to the third and drafted Will Anderson and C.J. Stroud, but there's a lot of people saying that um, he wasn't the best defensive player. Cardinals seem to get who they went and moved down, and they still got who Kyler Murray wanted. If I had to pick like the real soup winners of the draft, definitely the Eagles, because they were in the Super Bowl and they probably had like some of the best draft picks in the draft. You normally don't win this, like go to the Super Bowl and win the draft the next year. A lot of people question the Lions, but for what I've seen and heard, they did very well. Ravens did very well in the offseason. And yeah, I think the Texans did very well too. Texans did very well. Ravens did very well in the offseason. Jets actually did very well. Maybe not with a lot of draft picks, but I know some things didn't go their way and they had to take some different picks. But they got Aaron freaking Rodgers. I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. A lot of people expected Russell Wilson to bounce back. Right now, if I have to pick my favorites, I got the Eagles in the NFC along with the 49ers and the Lions. That's my top three in the NFC. AFC, I got Chiefs, Bengals again. AFC East is going to be interesting, man. The Dolphins, Dolphins got Jalen Ramsey too in offseason. That's going to be interesting. And I think they got a good pick as well. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to go with Jets, Bengals, and Chiefs as my top three in NFC. Bills, yeah, the Bills, I think they had enough chances. They let the Dolphins make moves and come up last year on them to second place. Dolphins got Jalen Ramsey this year, made some more moves, and should only get better. The Jets, they let Jets get Aaron Rodgers and make some moves, and the defense on the Jets is going to be tremendous this year. I think the Bills had a chance. I think they blew it. They were banking on Von Miller last year, getting them over the promised land, getting them over the hump to the promised land. And it didn't work. Didn't work. So it's really going to be the same teams as last year at the top of the field, except I would say Buffalo might move down and Dolphins and the Jets might move up. Ravens, Lamar Jackson ain't got no more excuses. He got Odell Beckham, Zay Flowers. He got the contract, which I don't think he's going to live up to whatsoever. I don't think he's going to live up to it whatsoever. Yeah, he was an MVP, but he hasn't even got past. He's only won one playoff game. I mean, is that what we're doing? We're paying cats to just be MVPs and not actually win Super Bowls. Jalen Hurts actually got his team to a Super Bowl and almost won the MVP as well. And could be MVP next year, to be honest with you. And will probably be possibly in the Super Bowl again next year. You know? And his contract is more team friendly. But, yep. So, once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Paul Pickett Podcast, and I'm out.